Hey guys, my name is Ace Reddy and welcome to this mini training. So in this training, I'm going to talk to you guys about Facebook ads and what's going on with Facebook in 2021, what's going to happen in 2022, right? And that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about. Now, obviously, unless you're living under a rock somewhere, you must have seen the changes that are happening on Facebook, especially after the iOS 14 updates or the 15 updates and the other updates that you just keep seeing these days. Like, I can't get into a single Facebook group where people are not talking about how Facebook ads suck or how Facebook just banned them for no apparent reason or whatever. And in this training, I'm going to talk to you guys and give you guys a few tips on how you can make Facebook ads work for you. All right. So if you run Facebook ads, this mini training is going to help you. And the niche really doesn't matter, right? Because I'm not going to give you very specific advice here. I'm not going to, give e-commerce people direct advice or coaching people direct advice. This is more so on how to make Facebook ads work for you, regardless of what niche you're in or what you promote or what you do. So that could be, you could be a coach or consultant. You could be an agency looking to get more clients. You could be an e-commerce business owner that's looking to get more customers, and it really doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys the formula to make Facebook ads work. But before that, let me give you a brief intro of who I am and why you should even listen to me, because you know most of you know who I am if you're watching this training. But if you're watching this on YouTube or somewhere and you don't know me, here's a very quick introduction. Well, my name is Ace, and that's me. And I have over 5,000 students from 120 different countries. I wrote a best-selling book with Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. My programs help students and clients do a combined 17 plus $1 million in revenue with Facebook ads. Over 150 testimonials from happy customers and clients. Me too. I failed miserably in the internet marketing industry for a long time because I've been in this business since 2013. So I've been in this for about 7 years now. So yeah, that's quite 8 years now. So that's quite a bit. Now, here's a few screenshots of Facebook ad results for you guys that want to see it. So this was, I believe this was November, and we did $392,000 in November for this client, and a majority of it is through Facebook. A small part of it is through Google Ads. All right. So that's screenshot number one. And if you look at this is from December 8th, 2021. All right. Look at this part over here. And this is the cold ad. This is the broad ad. This is the warm ad. I'll explain this in a second here, which is the TOF in the middle of the funnel and the bottom of the funnel. And if you see here, we spent $290, 3 purchases. It's the conversion value is like 5,390, right? The ROAS is 18. Amount spent here 679. ROAS is 53394. This ad actually did well, but I'm gonna talk to you guys later on about this in detail. I'm gonna tell you this, but to kind of brief you, Facebook's back office tracking is not very accurate anymore, right? And there's always an issue of underreporting. So that's always gonna happen. So even over here, it says we made like $8,000 from the budget here. We made a lot more that day, through Facebook. It's just that it wasn't reported here. And if you see this is December 11th, 2021, 1,000 spent, ROAS of 7. And this is the same exact ad, by the way. The ad that was working on 8, this is the same exact ad. And we don't even kill ads anymore. So that specific ad has probably been running since December 3rd. And, it's performing well ever since. So over here, you can see $1,000 spent, 7 ROAS, $8,634. 874 spent, 1,846. And again, this day we probably did about $13,000. It was a lot more, but over here it just says 9,000. That's because Facebook has an underreporting issue now. This is from the 1st of the month to, I think it is about 8th or 9th. And if you can see here, it says gross sales $47,993. So that's fun and interesting. All right. So now you have seen the proof and you've seen a reason why you should learn from me. let's get to the content part. And the reason I showed you the proof and everything like that really is not to brag, but to tell you that I know what I'm doing, right? We actually run a bunch of Facebook ads. Like I do, I write copy, we do a bunch of stuff, right? And the formulas I'm going to give you, the strategies I'm going to share with you, these are all practical strategies. These are not theorized. A lot of YouTubers, a lot of internet marketers, they come out with these crazy formulas that sound good, but they're theories. Now, these guys are teaching you how to run Facebook ads, even though they've never run a single ad, and that's pretty fucked up, actually. So, with that said, let's get to the content part. So, here's a few things I'm going to tell you about what's going to happen, and these are my predictions, right? And some of these are my predictions, actually. The rest, they're already happening. So this one, it's already happening. Now, a lot of Facebook ad accounts actually have a new thing that's happening where Facebook doesn't let you not switch on targeting expansion, right? So like if you're setting up Facebook ads, and if you haven't seen this, when you're setting up ads and you're putting down the interest to target, Facebook has this button that says, do you want to use targeting expansion, right? And when you click that, the audience size now 10x's or 20x's or 30x's or whatever, right? Depending on what interest you went after. Now, Facebook is making that mandatory, right? And for years, Facebook advertisers were very, especially the ones that are pretty old school, they would micro target these smaller audiences. Even myself, for a long time, I was micro targeting smaller audiences. That's because that's the best way to test your message. That's the best way to test your ad. That's the best way to get your ad out to a group of people that are potentially going to buy something from you, right? But now that option is disappearing. So, because once the detailed targeting expansion is switched on, you're not targeting that micro audience anymore. You're going after a bigger audience because it's just going to go very, very broad, right? If you guys want to see how that works, you can go to your Facebook back office, try to set up an ad, put few interests in there, click on targeting expansion. You'll see what's happening, right? So in 2022 especially, you guys need to focus on getting your creatives and ad copy done better, okay, along with the offer. The offer is more important than ever. A lot of bad businesses actually did quite well on Facebook for a long time because their advertising was so much on point. But now things are changing. Even if you're a business if you're selling probably a generic service, you need to get the USPs down. You need to get the advertising down in the right way. You need to get good creatives. You need to get great ad copy. Because now your ad isn't going out to a smaller segmented audience, it's going out to a huge audience, and if your ad is bad, you might get sales, but the cost of sale is going to be very, very high. So yeah, just work on getting your creatives in order, guys, the ad copy in order, the offers in order. This is where if you have a pretty boring product to sell, start introducing tripwires, start introducing new structures to sell them, or new offers, anything that's attractive. All right. And don't even worry about targeting mini audiences. Go broad. The smartest marketers know this game. The smartest marketers, even 3 years ago, were doing a lot of broad advertising, because that's how you scale to the top. But now, especially, it's kind of getting mandatory. So yeah, just go with the broader audience now. Low budget testing still works. I know a lot of people hate on low budget testing, and they're like, oh, you got to spend money on Facebook. You got to spend $100 a day on Facebook if you want any results. That's just stupid and dumb, right? So if you have a new ad account, you're spending $100 a day on it from the start, from day one. If you're spending $100 a day on your ad account, chances are on day 3, you're going to get blocked. Okay, you're going to get banned from Facebook because they think you're one of those guys that had an ad account that got shut down, that started a new ad account, moved the ads in here. That's what's happening. So, and on this training, I'm going to talk to you guys about a concept called warming up your account, and I'm going to show you how to do that, which prevents this problem. And I'm not saying you shouldn't run a $100 per day ad. There's just a way to do it. And $5 to $10 per day ads still work. A lot of clients that we run ads for, we've used the $5 to $10 per day ad system, and it works. The one that we like the most is actually the $20 per day ads, and they work extremely well if your offer is on the lower side, right? And again, guys, this depends on the offer itself. Like if you're selling, let's say, a $5,000 product, then a $10 per day ad really doesn't make much sense. I mean, you're not gonna get a sale for a long period of time. Do they still work? Yeah, but the amount of time it's gonna take for you to get that initial sale or the thing going, that's going to be a long time. All right, so get ready for that. So, but if you're selling a product under $100, low budget testing absolutely still works. Messenger campaigns will explode in 2022. So anything on platform is going to work a lot better. Okay, so messenger campaigns, running ads to a Facebook Live, anything like that is going to work very, very well, right? Anything on platform. So remember that. Messenger campaigns, design a proper messenger campaign and you'll start to rack up some great leads. Native content is king. Stick to simple and native creatives. Don't worry too much about the complex ones. Again, for multiple clients, we've tested this where we would take a very professional looking creative and we take like a casual creative, and the casual creative outperforms the professional one any day. That's because, again, when your ad is going out to a broader audience, which may or may not include your specific target market, especially in the beginning, you want to make sure your creative is very adapted to the traffic source that you're hitting, right? And Facebook, if you watched any of my previous trainings on Facebook ads, you must have heard this, which is Facebook is an entertainment platform. It is not a marketplace. It's not Craigslist. It's it's an entertainment platform. People don't jump on Facebook to buy shit. People jump on Facebook to see what their friends are up to, right? They jump on Facebook to see some interesting stuff. Same with Instagram. People jump on Instagram to see interesting stuff. They do not want to see they don't want to see a blatant offer, So again, make your ads native. Be very creative with the way you structure these ads and the creatives and everything like that. So now it does go down to testing in any case, but in our experience, the simple ones have always been killing the complex ones. But if you're in a niche where you feel like the professional ones are going to work and the complex photo shoot kind of stuff works, then yeah, go for it. But based on our experience, the simple ones, the native stuff is what's working. Tell your story. Personality and copy is key to selling coaching, consulting programs, or agencies or anything like that, right? Especially if you're on lower budget. If you're spending $5 a day, $10 a day on your ads and you want to get clients, this is what you need to be doing. You need to push that personality aspect. People want to buy from people. People don't buy from a bunch of robots. They don't buy from a website. They buy from people, right? So yeah, craft a marketable personality through selective storytelling. You just gotta know that it's basic marketing, guys. It's not that big of a deal. Simple structure. This is something that's very interesting that's actually happening. Now, if you go back to, let's say, 2018 or even 17 or heck, even 2020, a lot of ad accounts had these very complex structures, right? So they had like 18 different ads running or 7 different campaigns running, 8 different campaigns running, and it's just a lot of stuff that's happening in their ad account. But now what I've observed is the best converting or the most profitable ad accounts are the ones that are simple, which with a very basic structure. So this current ad account, we have a solid audience on it. So we have one cold ad, which is a broad ad, one warm campaign, one cold campaign, sorry, not an ad, one warm campaign and one hot campaign. That's about it, and then there's a bunch of ad sets in it, obviously, but that's kind of what we do now. One cold, one warm, one hot, and that's it. There's no 700 different campaigns or duplicated campaigns or cold one, cold two, nothing like that. It's just a very simple structure. One cold brings the broad people in, and I'll talk to you guys about what the purpose of everything is in a second here. But that's kind of how we run it now. The cold one is called the top of the funnel. If you want to get into the real marketing lingo, the warm one is called the middle of the funnel. The hot one is called the bottom of the funnel. And that's it. So scaling with dupes seems to be ineffective, at least on based on what we've seen. Duplicated campaigns are not doing well. If you go back a few years, again, duplicated campaigns were the king. Last year is when they actually started to die out. But now what we've observed is whenever there's a campaign duplicate, the ad costs just get completely to the red line, and that's pretty bad. So whenever we duplicate campaigns, which we do when it comes to scaling CPOs, and I'll tell you why in a second here, we immediately turn off the older campaign. Okay, that's something that we do. We immediately turn off the older campaign, and that works a lot better for us. Set your KPIs. Now, this is where you get disciplined. It's kind of like the survival of the fittest thing now, because Facebook's basically burned out a lot of the advertisers, right? So if you want to survive in this whole sphere of Facebook now, you got to get disciplined. Now, what's funny though is that Facebook ads have gotten comparatively easier, because Facebook now wants people to run their own ads instead of hiring agencies and stuff. So they want to make the whole platform a lot easier. So that's what's happening. Facebook ads are actually easier than they used to be. Okay, but they're a lot more complex. The mechanism behind it is a lot more complex, but it's just a lot easier now. We're at a position where people can run their own ads for the most part if they understand how to do it. So yeah, I mean, start out with the right KPIs and then aim to hit them. I know a lot of people, they don't know their numbers properly. They start running their ads and they want to decipher the numbers. Do not do that. Get your KPIs down even before you run the ad, and then accurately track through this through the Facebook ad system that you're using, and make sure your KPIs are hit. UTM tracking is a bare minimum. Now, Facebook's tracking, as I told you in the past, is completely off. Right, it's very inaccurate. There's a massive underreporting issue. There's a pretty bad attribution issue. So UTM tracking is going to be a bare minimum now. Okay, so we have a very simple tracking setup for most clients actually. It's just like we just use Zapier to link up if you're using ClickFunnels, it gets even easier. So you just need to know which campaign the sales are coming from, right? And we personally rely on both. So we look at both UTM and Facebook, because sometimes the UTMs don't track properly, especially when there's different traffic sources involved. If you're running ads from both Google and Facebook, there's a chance that your UTMs are going to be slightly off. So what we do is we have this whole system where we have a sheet where the numbers basically show up, and we know which campaign is generating how many sales and stuff like that, and we usually compare that with Facebook's back office and come up with a number. But this is the one bad part about Facebook now, is the whole tracking issue. That's a pretty big issue now. For some of the higher level clients, you can use there's pretty good tools, but they're on the expensive side. So you have Rockerbox, you have Hyros, you have a few different tools actually. A friend of mine is coming out with a new tool, which he says is pretty awesome. I haven't tested it yet. So there's a few tools you can use, obviously, but again, it goes down to how much revenue your business is doing. If it's $100,000, $200,000 a month business, then yeah, you most definitely need a few good tools to run your company. But if you're not even doing $10,000 a month, then UTM tracking is a bare minimum. Beware the hackers. So there's a lot of hackers at the moment, especially because Facebook has been banning people from advertising on Facebook, and there's a lot of hackers. You basically you get this message on Facebook which says, "Oh, is this you?" And it's like it looks like a YouTube link, because they have a YouTube thumbnail on it. You click on the link, it goes to a page. Next thing you know, your ad account is hacked, and it's just these guys that send traffic to an e-commerce store, and they set the budget to like $17,000 or $18,000, and before you even see it, and they set it up, in a weird time, and before you even see it, the money is just gone, and now you have to fight Facebook to get your refund. So beware the hackers, guys. Don't let the hackers get you. I've seen it happen quite a few times. Do not click any link that is suspicious. Now, let me give you a few tips on testing, optimization, and scaling. Basic tips. Number one, follow the compliance rules. You do not want to get your ad account banned now. It's one of the most painful processes to go through in terms of like to get your ad account back, right? Follow the compliance rules. They're not that hard. I have a module on. Well, you guys can message me if you're watching this through Facebook, and I'll send you the module link. But if you're on YouTube, you can just check my YouTube videos, and you'll find how to not get banned on Facebook module. You can watch it. The rules are pretty much the same still. So that's number one. Number two, get your profile verified or authenticated. So you have, the your profile verification is where you send them your photo ID proof, and Facebook then authenticates your account. That's very much necessary now. Always warm up your ad account. So warming up is really a very simple process. So when you get a new ad account, or especially if you've never run ads on an ad account before, start running page like campaigns, right? At a $5 budget. Do that for at least 72 hours, and then keep the budgets low and steady. So go from $5 to maybe $20 or $30 a day or something like that. But do not go from a brand new account to $100 per day budget, because you're going to get banned. Facebook's like, okay, well, these guys are moving too fast. On new accounts, move slow. Move slow for the first 2 weeks at least. Do not use the word you in your ads. This is something that I'm seeing that causes a lot of compliance problems. I'll give you an example here. If you're running an ad that says, do you want to sell your house today? That'll get you banned. Okay, I'll tell you why. Do not ever single out, the basic rule is, do not ever pinpoint who the guy is or any of his attributes. So when you're asking, do you want to sell your house, the guy is basically there's a good chance that he could get creeped out. He's like, well, how does he know I want to sell my house? And then he goes on saying, okay, well, Facebook's tracking me. Facebook's like this, and Mark Zuckerberg's looking at me, and he's looking at me through my webcam. He goes onto that weird ass trip. You don't want him to do that, right? And Facebook doesn't want him to do that either. So be careful when you use the word you. If you're a beginner, do not even use it. Find a different way to say it. So do you want to sell your house could be selling a house is easy. Like, this is how different it is. Like, just change the whole hook. Now I'll give you a few tips on testing. Lower budget testing takes a longer time, right? So when you're running these test campaigns, keep the ads running for a minimum of 4 to 7 days before killing them, and really don't even touch them when you're running these ads. Like, don't make a lot of modifications. All right. Number two, train your pixel aggressively. A good pixel is very crucial to making a lot of money. Okay. So when your pixel sees a lot of sales coming in, that makes it easier for Facebook to connect you with the audience that's most likely going to buy your stuff, right? So train your pixel aggressively. Like, just to spend a lot more money, push your ads out there, and just have a very strong offer and hook, and run ads, guys. That's about it. Just run ads. Like, don't be don't be too scared when it comes to spending money on paid ads. That's another thing I want to tell you guys is, well, I'm not asking you to be reckless. Like, if you're gonna start a new ad and put $1,000 per day budget on it, that's probably not gonna do well. Especially if you're a beginner. But be a bit aggressive. You're gonna lose some money when it comes to ads, but once it works out, the costs are gonna drop, and you make a lot more money then. All right. Set up a proper structure. I walked you through it earlier. Here's a brief formula that you can use. The top of the funnel ads need to introduce a strong offer. So these are the ads that are introducing your offer to a very cold and broad audience. All right. This audience has never seen your offer before, and this is the first time they're seeing it. The middle of the funnel ads need to convince them to take the offer. So this is where you can tell them about special benefits or features or anything like that. Or if you're running a coaching empire, you could give them testimonials at this phase to make them take the offer. The bottom of the funnel needs to assure them that it's the right decision. That's what we do, But in some clients, again, the bottom of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, they get messed up too. So it really depends on the business that you run for the most part. Optimization and scaling. So patience is key when it comes to optimization and scaling. Okay. Wait slightly longer now before you optimize, because Facebook has gotten relatively slower, I would say. Because back in 2018, you could know if an ad is working or not within the first 3 days. Okay, but now that time frame has extended. So wait for 5 to 7 days before you optimize anything, and that's going to be a lot more accurate for you. To optimize a CBO, this is something I see a lot of people get wrong, and a lot of people start running these CBO campaigns and ABO campaigns, and it works extremely well, and then suddenly it stops to work. It stops working. Okay, and they don't understand why. I'm going to tell you why. Here's the formula. When you're running CBO campaigns, keep this in mind. When you're running CBO campaigns, do not get into a working ad and cut anything or change anything. If there's 4 different ad sets in a CBO campaign and one of the ad sets isn't doing well, if you go in and cut that ad set, there's a good chance that the other 3 ad sets are going to be automatically derailed as well, and the whole campaign is going to start losing money. All right. So the best way to do it is to duplicate this CBO, keep the budget the same, and then turn off the ad in that, like a completely new one. All right, and then you turn off the original. That's what you do. And even that, you can be calculated about that. If one of the ad sets isn't working, but the other 3 are working extremely well, just ignore the 4th one. Just ignore the 4th one. That's we've done that as well with some campaigns where we weren't spending as much money. The 4th ad set, it doesn't work, and we just ignore it. We don't care about it because the other 3 are doing a pretty good job at it. But the moment you cut out a campaign or cut out an ad set, the whole campaign could go to shit. There's a good chance that's going to happen with a CBO, right? A campaign budget optimization ad. When it comes to an ABO, it's a lot more simpler. You can just go in and directly cut the ads. Don't even worry about anything. Nothing's going to happen. Get in, cut out the ads that are not working. And that's about it. Achieve a higher ROAS steadily. This is another thing that you guys need to understand now. Is the old method was, okay, well, get a good ROAS and then scale, and you're going to compromise on the ROAS, but who gives a shit anyway? Let's just scale. That doesn't work as well now, because when you do it that way, your campaigns just stop working. And now, because back then you would also use the duplication method, right? That's how we would scale. So it's micro scaling. That doesn't work anymore. To achieve a higher or steady ROAS at least, right? So like a ROAS of 3, 4, 5, achieve that depending on what your business model is, and then accelerate. And the scale, when you're scaling, the ROAS is going to come down. Unless you're extremely lucky, the ROAS is going to come down. But when you have a steadier ROAS, even when it comes down, it's not that big of a hit for you. All right, you're still turning a profit. That's what matters. Stick to 50% budget increases. That's something we've been doing, is we stick to 50% budget increases, and that happens every 3 to 4 days. I've tried the 100% route. For a lot of the clients, it doesn't work. For some of them, it does work. Conversion rates to expect. Unique CTR 1% plus, and this is like the KPIs that you can expect or you need to set. 30% opt-in rate for landing pages, anything like that. 10 to 15% for tripwire conversion. Tripwire conversion can include, a $7 offer, a $10 offer, a $1 trial, anything like that. 10 to 15% is what you're looking for. A product page is 2 to 5%, and you can, that's just like the basic numbers. It absolutely changes based on what you sell, but you could use this as somewhat of a benchmark. Remarketing. Now, this is the bottom of the funnel ad, basically, right? So a good tip I'll give you is actually, when you're running retargeting ads for an audience size of less than 10,000 people, $5 to $10 per day works. You don't need to spend more money than that. Okay. I know people, they set up these $50 per day retargeting campaigns, and they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna, the retargeting is gonna make me a lot of money. No, it's not going to. Okay. Now, here's how I want you to think of remarketing now. Now, a lot of people think that a remarketing ad needs to be the most profitable one, but even a lot of people feel like the remarketing ad is the one that needs to have the highest ROAS. In most cases, it actually is. Okay, it actually is, and that depends on other factors which I won't go into on this module because this is a mini training. But the goal of your remarketing ad is not to get you a higher ROAS. Okay, the goal of your remarketing ad is to convert more people, and for that reason, sometimes your remarketing ad is, if your front end, if your top of the funnel campaigns are doing extremely well in terms of ROASs, then your remarketing ads may not do as well sometimes. Okay, so the ROAS of your remarketing ads is going to be a bit lower, but that's okay. It's still doing its job, because what you're basically looking for is, you're looking to catch off the people that are on the ledge and sell them stuff. Okay, so you're looking to maximize the amount of revenue that you make, and maximize the number of sales that you get from that audience that you're already exposed to. So yeah, I mean, if you're getting a ROAS that's lower on the remarketing than the MOF or the TOF, then that's completely okay and that's expected. I wouldn't worry much. So again, for the remarketing ad, set it to $5 to $10 per day maximum for an audience size of less than 10,000 people. For every 1,000 after that, for an audience increase of every 1,000 after that, bump it by $1 per day and you should be fine. The key is to run this every day. It doesn't matter how many tests you do on the front end. Keep the remarketing ad going. Don't ever cut it off. Just keep it going. You can test a few different remarketing ads as well. Once you find something that works, keep it going. Okay. Now, I hope you like this training, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at ace@aceready.com. Now, if you watch this on Facebook, you can just send me a message. I'm pretty accessible like that. I'm not a guru on a hill looking and acting like a dick. Okay? Now, if you want to hire us to run your ads and get your results, if you're running a coaching business, an e-commerce business, lead generation business, whatever business you run, if you want to hire us to run your ads, okay, and we'll do the whole thing. We'll do the creatives, we'll do the ad copy, we'll set up the ads for you, we'll set up your reporting system, we'll set up the structures for you, and we'll give you the data. And if you want us to do all of that, you can just message me on Facebook or email me at ace@aceready.com. Or if you want to learn how to do it yourself, which is, you don't want to hire an agency, you want to learn how to do it yourself, you want to get some hands-on experience, we just opened up 10 more spots in our incubator program. So Facebook incubator program is something that I run, includes training, coaching calls, done for you funnels and stuff, and a lot of other cool things. And it also has a lot of interesting experts that you can ask questions and get answers from. So if you want more details on that, message me incubator or email me and I'll send it to you. With that said, I hope you like this module. I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.